We're back at Lanier National, and the pro class drivers have taken the field out there now, and these are the guys that really know how to get the job done. Take a look at the number 29 and pay attention to the name of Jason Hogan. This is a young man who will be driving a super late model car a little bit later on tonight, definitely moving up through the ranks. Young man out of Cleveland, Georgia, might be the next Casey Atwood. We saw Atwood a couple of years ago, and he's already driving Busch cars. This young man has a lot of the same kind of talent written all over him, Ski.
He does, too, and he's very cordial, and he's got a very good team behind him. His father, 100% behind him. Got two 18-wheeler transporters here with a super late model car, another trailer with full Legends cars. He's got it hooked up.
Wesley Thompson starts on the pole. Talked to him at the beginning of the show with Kevin Kennemore, Will Ragsdale, Jerry Willingham, a veteran driver, out on row number 3. And we see Doug Stevens, Steve Sims, row number 4. Brian Stipe on the outside of row number 5. We'll get to him just a little bit later on. He's carrying one of our cameras. And Jonathan Davenport, by virtue of his performance, has now moved up to the pro division, having clinched the semi-pro title for the season only halfway through. We're on board with Jason Hogan, so you'll get a good look at the driving style of the young man we mentioned just a while ago. We're also on board with Jerry Willingham in the number 34 car out of South Carolina. Willingham Building Supply. Might be a connection there. And that's the look from Jerry's cockpit. And finally, Brian Stipe, who starts from 10th position in the number 31 Collision Care car.
It's going to be
out
exciting.
The throttle response there just a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting, Brian, with Hogan and Davenport in the same race. As you said, Davenport able to work his way up after clinching the championship. We're going green.
And Wesley Thompson takes him away. Number 55 car, the black car there. A man who everybody recognizes as one of the top cats in this class.
Wesley hardly ever puts a wheel wrong. It's going to take a better man than Wesley to get around him. Another spin right off the bat.
This looks like at the back of the field, Jonathan Davenport, eager to prove himself one class up here tonight. This guy's taking a few whirly-gigs around the track.
Brian, he's doing it mainly on the first lap, too. I talked about him having to work on his strategy. I think he went the other way. He's going faster now.
In any case, we're under caution here at Lanier National. Young Jonathan Davenport will go back to the drawing board, try to settle himself down a little bit. Just got up inside there. The number 10 car, James Insco, Napa-sponsored car out of Douglasville, Georgia. And damage to both automobiles.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to get that thing back railing the way it was earlier. He's got his chores cut out for him for the night.
Apparently Insco's car suffering a little bit of damage as well. He's leaving the racetrack, and we'll be right back. We came here to go racing, and racing we will go in just a few moments here as Wesley Thompson will take him back to the green flag. Stands on it coming out of turn 4 on the outside with Kevin Kennemore out of South Carolina. A restart after the incident, and Wesley Thompson has punched in and gone right back to work. Around the outside there is Kennemore trying to hold the high line, but it doesn't work, and taking it away, Will Ragsdale jumps down in the number 2 spot, but then he drifts up and allows Kennemore to come back inside.
Kennemore making a move toward the front right now. Very good line out of him through the inside of turn 3. Turn 4 on the front straight, almost kisses the wall. You can tell he's searching for the speed, trying to go after Wesley Thompson, use up all the racetrack and try to keep that momentum.
Jerry Willingham having to work awful hard behind the wheel of his car.
He misses the spot there, lets it push the front going into turn 3.
Lined up 1, 2, 3 right now. Leader Wesley Thompson with just a little bit of breathing room, but not much. Kevin Kennemore is definitely coming.
Will Ragsdale trying to use what draft there is available at this Lanier Speedway. I'm sure it'll give him a couple hundred RPM on the FJ1200 Yamaha engine. Right now, kind of a procession. I think all these guys are maxed out. This is just what the advantage that they held from the start, with the exception of Kevin Kennemore. He kind of fought his way through on the first lap. Brian Stipe now in the collision care on board, showing you just how busy it gets on a half-mile racetrack.
Stipe racing for position, and there's a spin right in front of him. Oh, and the 40 car that went around Mark Manning got collected by Chris Mitchell who had nowhere to go. Things happen awful fast in these Legends cars. They race in such close quarters that there's very little time to avoid any kind of incident. And with the caution flag on the racetrack, Ski is hustled down there to see if he can get a word with the drivers. We're under caution here. It looked like Manning just kind of went around, not sure if he got any help, but he sure got some company when Chris Mitchell came on the scene. So Manning and his car are heading off on the hook. Manning, the driver, sitting there watching the race car. David Sadowski's just about got to him. Let's go down to Ski.
Mark Manning coming back in on the hook. Big old slide up the front straightaway. Mark, real quick, what happened to you there off of 4?
Oh, I got no idea. A little pressure from the back, and, you know, he didn't touch me or nothing. I just felt him back there and overdrove it a little bit.
Track seemed to loosen up a little tonight.
Yeah, it's a little looser than normal, and, you know, I might have loosened the car up a little bit too much. Yeah, one of those deals.
All right, well, at least Mark Manning admitted that he might have made the mistake in the setup and compounded it with a little bit of overdriving. We'll be back. We're under caution here at Lanier. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the show here at Lanier National. The Kroger Dixie Legends Shootout Pro Division continuing under caution at the moment while the last of the cleanup gets underway. Here's another look at the incident. We heard Mark Manning say he just kind of overdrove the car. There's a little bit of evidence. The 01 of Doug Stevens just missed him, saw a spark or two, and then Chris Mitchell came in and collected him. David Sadowski had a chance to catch up with Chris while we were in break.
Tribute to the Kroger kids.
Chris, that's a heck of a way to make it on TV.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I tell you, you know, you think you sign up for the pro, and it looks like the Charger class out there with some of these guys. You know, it's amazing.
It's getting pretty hectic. Just nowhere to go and not enough brakes.
No, I mean, I wasn't involved really in the wreck. I just didn't have anywhere to go. You know, there he said. So, what do? You know?
Better luck next time,
Thanks
too.
a lot.
Right.
One more night in which they'll take up funds.
Well, Ski, you hate to tear up a race car and try to put a good spin on it, but there's, you know, bottom line is you're not racing and you got to go work on the car now.
I'll tell you what, though, Chris made a move right before impact that put the contact on the left rear. He could have hit the side door panel. It could have gotten ugly, but sportsmanship abounds even in the pro division.
On the restart, Wesley Thompson once again in control with Kevin Kennemore in second spot. Single file restart. It's Ragsdale third. They're all single file around the racetrack. Wesley Thompson with a great setup on his car. He also works on the car for young Jason Davenport. We heard Davenport say that Wesley Thompson helps him set up his race car and thanked him for doing so.
Jason Hogan now running in 7th. He's got Stipe right on the outside. It's a battle all the way. But Hogan has position on the inside. That's where you want to be. But you talk about setup. Setup is everything in Legends car racing, especially when you got to work your way up through the pack like Jason is.
He's working awful hard behind the wheel, and there you can see the side-by-side battle, and another one going on right behind them for 8th and 9th position. And it looks like the 6th car of Brett Hughes is going to follow him through. There he comes, the yellow car on the inside, and Stipe's getting pushed around. He ducks back low and tries to get his spot back.
I think he's going to stay down low this time, Brian. Brian Stipe, that is going down low. We got kind of hung out to dry. Now we got some sparks out of the 6.
Brett Hughes dragging the rear bumper there, and you know that's got Brian Stipe kind of guessing which way to go here. Hughes probably doesn't even know it's happening. He's just racing out there.
Well, I just go after it and flick it off there with my front. It's just a target.
Yeah, well, that's you, David Sadowski. Here comes Brian Stipe. He is keeping a safe distance back there.
It is the 4th of July. He's starting the fireworks show a little early.
There you go. Brian Stipe sending some sparks flying. And back up to the leader now, Wesley Thompson, running such a competent race, we almost forgot about him. All the action's going on behind him.
Wesley Thompson, I told you, he doesn't put a wheel wrong, and he hasn't yet. Kennemore's trying to force an error, but he just can't get close enough. Entrance speed of Wesley Thompson just too much for Kennemore tonight.
Wesley Thompson running such a... Now he's got his arm out the window. Caution flag flying here on the racetrack. I think they finally are... They're going to call Brett Hughes. That bumper's just hanging off, and the INEX officials are concerned that it's going to come off altogether and not in a good place. So they're going to bring them all to a halt and see if they can't get Brett Hughes' bumper either fixed or removed. Red Hughes brings out the caution here. Norcross Georgia driver exits the racetrack. They're going to make him go work on his car while the rest of the field circles around. And there's Jason Davenport up in the back of the bunch there. There's the incident. We saw it earlier. In any case, we're under caution here at Lanier once again. Wesley Thompson takes him back to the green flag here in the Pro Division, which is still far from decided. Doug Stevens with a great jump, trying to make a move down on the inside, but falls back in line. It's the 7 car of Kevin Kennemore that's still holding the spot. Stevens working on third, but Jerry Willingham down inside. There he is in the 34 car, and Jason Hogan is all over his back bumper. 4 cars fighting for a spot. Look at Hogan in the mirror of Willingham's car.
And Doug Stevens up front, he's not going to take no for an answer on that third place position. He's fighting on the outside line. Now we're taking a look from Hogan's car. It's getting busy.
Jason Hogan looking at Jerry Willingham. Willingham trying not to look at Jason Hogan in the mirror. Mighty smooth driving by all of these guys. The youngster Hogan, the veteran Willingham. Meanwhile, Wesley Thompson just circling up there like it's a stroll in the park. Kennemore has gotten close a few times, but never close enough to ruffle the feathers of Wesley Thompson.
Kennemore's losing some grip here too, Brian. He's not able to maintain the corner speed that he once had early on. Wesley Thompson using all the racetrack, almost kissing the wall. It's his race to lose at this point, but a great battle raging for third.
Doug Stevens tries to drive it down low on Will Ragsdale, but can't get the job done. He might be losing a little bit of grip, or Ragsdale's just got a few more ponies under the hood. Hard to say, but he's driving an awful smooth line and just not giving Doug Stevens in the 01 car any place to get around him.
Watch Ragsdale though. He's opening up the car off the corner. It lets the momentum carry up. He's not scrubbing any speed off, letting the car roll. He'll take a shot in the rear bumper. That'd actually help him with this driving style that he's using right now.
Great battle for third spot on the track. Will Ragsdale trying to hold off Doug Stevens.
Using the mirrors too. You can see as soon as Stevens takes a duck towards the inside, Ragsdale corrects. He'll take that shot in the bumper anytime right now. That's just more mile an hour.
As wide as Lanier National is, these guys are using a very narrow line. 2 cars set up almost identically here tonight. Stevens now with a little bit of position inside, and Ragsdale with a wiggle. That might have been enough.
See if Stevens can pick up the throttle here early enough. It'll be side by side down the front straightaway. Ragsdale's not going to give up though, Brian. They're going to touch tires on the way in.
Stevens has the spot right now, but Will Ragsdale drops in behind and takes a high-low run and uses the same move. Almost got inside of Stevens to get the spot back.
Almost, you could tell he had to hit the brake there to avoid the collision, but look at this. It just doesn't look like Stevens can maintain that inside line. They hit again. Ragsdale's going to take that bump and run and go with it.
Here comes Jason Hogan up behind trying to follow him through, but Stevens drops down on the low line and holds on to the spot. Hogan was able to make the pass on Jerry Willingham. You can see Willingham tucked in behind, and they're going 4 cars deep for that third spot.
Checkered flag out.
Checkered flag for Wesley Thompson, who just stayed out there in front while all the racing was going on behind him. It allowed him to get away and pull off an even bigger margin of victory. Kevin Kennemore had to wave the towel because he just didn't have anything for the leader. Wesley Thompson takes the win in the Pro Division. He's given everybody the thumbs up out there. These guys have an awful lot of fun. They race hard, but they race clean. Wesley Thompson circling the track. David Sadowski heading down towards victory lane. And Thompson, who helps a lot of other drivers, including Jonathan Davenport, is always willing to lend an ear to anybody that needs a tip on setup. Wesley Thompson unbuckling. He's already got his baseball hat on. He's ready for the interview as he pulls it in the victory lane here at Lanier National. We'll take a look at the results of this one. We saw a lot of great racing all the way back through the field as Wesley Thompson scooted away for the win over Kevin Kennemore. Ragsdale managed to hold off Stevens or retake the position, and Jason Hogan's made a late pass to take the number 5 spot. Let's go down to David Sadowski with the winner of this one.
Wesley, I got you at a high 15 on the last lap. You in a hurry to get home or something?
Yeah, we got a long way to go. We're from South Carolina, so we got to run second. Kevin Kennemore, he's from South Carolina too. We sort of we sort of combine notes and everything every week, so it's good for both to be up front with these Poirier racing engines and Tow Pro sponsor Mathis Grading. And I like to say hey to my wife, my kids at home, Megan, Mitchell, and Mikhail. I got a 2-day-old boy, so 2-week-old boy, so it's lucky I even got to come race.
Go ahead, he's right there.
I like to say hey, Mikhail, everybody. She loves the trophy. She don't care about the money. She just wants the trophy.
Yeah. Right on, good run tonight.
Thanks. And we like to say, tell Clay to come on down.
Well, he's talking about Clay Hare, the guys that race up in Charlotte. We heard him say that this is where the real racing is, and there's more of it coming up. And the fireworks are going off for the fans as they start to file out. Well, some